All right, let's start this. Let's start this party. Okay, anytime, do the clacker thing. And action.
Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show presented by MyGunDiary.com and Drake Fine Sporting Arms of El Paso. With your hosts, Felix Mena and J. Scott Drake. And now, here they are.
Welcome once again to everybody out there, including our live studio audience. You are tuned in to another great episode of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show. In fact, this is episode 16 of the show. I am your host, Felix Mena. Alongside me, a man that was born in Mumbai, India during one of the greatest droughts of all time. He then stowed away on a boat and came to America. He is master gunsmith, owner and proprietor of Drake Fine Sporting Arms, Mr. J. Scott Drake.
Hi, and you left something out too.
What did I leave out?
I'm an inventor also, apparently.
Oh yes, the inventor of the rotary engine.
That's right. Yeah. That's what it says in my bio anyway.
Without an actual bio, I'm going, whatever comes to mind each week. Check out straightshootingshow.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, and each week you'll get to see a different biography for Scott, since he refuses to
now that you made it
one.
Funny, I totally refuse to update it on my own.
And then to his right, of course, is our lovely spokesmodel, the one and only Francesca Ricciuti, who is also going to give us a little plug for our great sponsor, Cerakote Southwest.
I wanted a really cool story about where I'm from, too.
Well, now, if you like, I can delete your actual biography.
Have fun with it.
Yeah, and have fun with it. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be my wild card, since I'm the one that updates the website. Every week I might throw something in there.
I think you're doing your thing.
Oh, my goodness. I failed already. So let me go wide. Okay, with that, so let's give the plug to our sponsor first before we talk about the Facebook Live, the new camera that I just messed up.
Yes,
I
know. We do have to talk about that. But Straight Shooting Show is brought to you by Cerakote Southwest, the only certified Cerakote applicator in Southwest Texas. You can go online, visit them at cerakotesw.com to see some of the jobs, the custom Cerakote jobs and laser engraving that they've done. And you can also follow them on Instagram at Cerakote Southwest.
Yes, and I've just zoomed in now with our new Facebook Live camera to the official Cerakote Southwest Smith & Wesson M&P that they did the custom job on, and now I will zoom back out, which is my job to do. Now, before I tell you what's on the show tonight, we will address the new live streaming camera, which is the Mevo camera. That has definitely upped our game as far as the Facebook Live feed goes. We're getting a lot of viewers on Facebook Live. People love that platform.
At least 75.
At least 75 more viewers. And so right in front of me, I've got my iPhone, and I control the production from here, but I'm thinking now that I've already messed up once, but maybe it'll, it's our first show. I can control the camera. So if I want to zoom in on Scott, I just touch my phone right there, and you'll see on the Facebook Live that it zooms in on Scott. If I want to pan over to Francesca, I just slide my finger over, and it's got her gorgeous face right there. And then, of course, my gorgeous face, I can slide right over. And then if I want, I can go in a wide shot, all with the tap of a finger. But more importantly, we capture the high-quality audio, which we've been missing on the Facebook Live. And then last but not least, of course, we can zoom in on the TV, so when we show our videos, people get a better look at the videos. It's a big upgrade, and I'm very happy that it's working, because before the show started, I had it set up and I tripped on the cable and I knocked it over. I mean, I really knocked it over hard.
I thought we lost it before we got started.
We were about to have to shoot a parody scene of Felix getting murdered.
Yeah, I mean, that would not have been good. That would have been $490.
$490, man.
Hey, let me tell you what's on the show tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about guns in the news, and we've got a shocking video. Whoever home this was, they had like really high quality surveillance cameras inside their home, and it captured a home invasion, an armed home invasion, as it happened. And the video is going to shock you. And this poor woman, there's a lot to talk about, because I don't think she handled the situation.
You mean old spray and pray?
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent video. You won't want to miss it.
She did a good job. I mean, she did. Yeah, we'll talk about it more. But anyway.
Yeah. Then there's a very short video, which I think is just, it's one of many that's on the internet, but it's how not to clear a pistol. It's a Facebook video that this guy posted. I don't know if he was going to clean his weapon, but he was clearing it, And it's a fine example. I mean, the punchline is...
This one I haven't seen.
The gun goes off, otherwise we wouldn't be showing it, and he wasn't expecting it. But there's a couple things to point out in it, which we can talk about. And then, of course, now last week we talked about the church shooting in Texas, and we've come to find out since then that one of the reasons that guy was able to get a hold of a firearm was because his information was not entered into the FBI background system, the NCIS system. And so there's a story came out this week that actually millions of records of people who should not be able to own firearms, those records have not been entered into the FBI system. A story came out about that, so we'll talk about that briefly. And then that kind of segues into, ever since the church shooting in Vegas, the liberal media, we don't normally get political, but tonight we're going to get a little bit political because it's just been ridiculous, some of the stories. And the one that really set me off was this USA Today image of an AR-15, which shows all the different accessories you can put on it, and it's just ridiculous. And so we're gonna talk a little bit.
My favorite on that is the bear attachment.
Yeah, we're gonna show photos, some slideshows of that, and then of course now. Oh, the other big news this week is that the store, our store, is now open. So let me show you a quick slideshow of that.
Well, I don't know if you guys caught it on my Facebook page for the store or for my store, but I shared an image, and I think everybody's going to be very interested in some of the products that we have.
Yeah, so now for the first time, it opened this week, we have our logo merchandise. We have 2 different styles to choose from, 2 different designs. We have our Good and the Bad and the Ugly parody, which is Scott, myself, and the squirrel. And then we have our main logo, which is the Straight Shooting Show logo. But of course, the big item that everybody's talking about are the Christmas item everyone's going to want are the logo thong underwear.
The thong is going to be huge.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and Jasmine says women will not wear a white thong, but I think women will.
Hey, if you
when I saw that the thong was one of the options, I was like, thank goodness that guy could not draw my face. My face is not going to be on people's underwear.
All right, so there. I think Kristen is wearing a white thong.
If you're confident in yourself, we had some contention the other day too. Somebody said that a woman will not wear a white thong. I say if you're confident in yourself and your preening habits, you should have no problem wearing a white thong. So we look forward to seeing you in our thongs.
Yes, and so you can go to the store. If you go to straightshootingshow.com, you will find the store. Just it's in the navigation now, straightshootingshow.com, or you can go to cafepress.com/straightshooting. But it's easier just to go to straightshootingshow.com. It's right there in the navigation. Also in the navigation, you're going to find our brand new Instagram page, which is @straightshootingshow, and we're getting that up and running. But the website is now fully set. It's got the Facebook feeds, it's got the Instagram, it's got the store, it's got the bios, it's got everything, and of course it's got the YouTube videos and the Facebook Live. Just go to straightshootingshow.com.
It's your one-stop shop now.
It's your one-stop shop. And with that, when do you want to do this giveaway? Should we do it now?
Okay,
we can do
talk
it,
about it,
you know?
and I'll let the viewers kind of
Let's
write it
prep
out.
it. Let's talk about it. Let's pump it up, and then
just for funsies, we've got some stuff here.
Yeah, tell us about it, Scott.
So these are the pictures that we took, our behind-the-scene pictures. When we did the Steve Zissou parody for the Life Aquatic thing, we actually had to use a Polaroid camera. So these are some Polaroids. So what we're doing is,
of you.
Yeah, I've got a good one of me here.
I've got some super dorky ones of me.
So Francesca has some, but anyway, all you got to do in the live.
Can you show them to the camera, Francesca?
Yep.
And so we're going to give those away tonight. And did we decide how we're going to select the winners? Just people from the comments, right?
Yeah, just for whoever says, "Hey, I want one," we'll randomly pick you one and we'll mail it to you.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to let Francesca pick them, but we'll tell you when. When we say go.
When we say go, first person that says "I want one"
gets one.
Gets one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And
no repeats, Mom. You can't have all of them.
One per customer.
One per customer.
Yeah.
And with that, it's time to get in the news.
This week in Firearms news and current events.
All right. Oh, you know what? I didn't even mention what else was going to be on the show. I'm such a failure tonight. Although, Beverly, your mother did say I look like I'm losing weight. So I'm not that much of a failure, although the scale might say otherwise. Hey, we're going to get into the news in a second, but also on the show tonight, of course, we've got our big 380 ACP shootout video that we did this last weekend, where we went out and shot 5 or 6 different 380 ACP pistols, and we're going to give our opinions and talk about them. And then if we have time in the gunsmithing job of the week, I think you've got something lined up for that. But I think we've got a pretty full show, so we might not get to that. All right, so with that, let's get into the news here. And the first item I mentioned was this shocking video of a home invasion. And let's just play it, and then we'll run with it, and we'll make our comments. So here we go with this home invasion video and the new Facebook Live. I'll zoom in. It's awesome.
You can help identify 2 home invaders. They were caught on camera as a woman in the house shot at them. Take a look. Surveillance video shows several men coming in through a door, and then watch as a woman inside opens fire. Channel 2's Nicole Carr is live in Gwinnett County. Nicole, that woman's roommate was there and had to console her.
All right, we can only imagine what she was going through in that moment. What you're seeing and about to hear gives us a crystal clear picture of what was happening during that shootout and the 2 surviving suspects that police say they need behind bars.
She exercised her right to defend her livelihood and property.
Watch as this Gwinnett County woman rushes from her bedroom, unloading all her bullets on the 3 men who kicked in her front door. It's the dramatic, newly released video from around 4 a.m. Friday morning. The woman, a local restaurant manager, is staying in a Spring Drive home with a housemate for work-related reasons when she hears the 3 intruders, guns clearly in hand. Police saying they came here for cash and met their match.
Did they shoot you? Yeah, they shoot me.
As they exchange gunfire with drywall debris clouding the dark home, one man runs through a glass door. The man in the wig dies of his injuries in the driveway, and the woman, seen here being consoled by that housemate who gently takes away the gun, lives to tell and show police what happened.
It's not common that we receive this caliber of surveillance video,
pun intended,
showing a crime unfold, an actual home invasion.
Now police need to find the 2 surviving suspects.
They're not wearing anything on their faces, so we highly anticipate that someone watching the evening newscast will recognize these people.
Yeah. So very, incredible video, and it just goes to show you, that poor lady. Obviously, she was not a Native American. She was Asian, and she didn't speak the language very well. Yes, they shoot me. When they asked if she shot her, I don't mean to make fun of her, but in the heat of the moment, right? 3 guys break in. They're armed. She was at least had the wherewithal to grab her pistol. But she didn't take cover. She just ran at them as she was shooting.
It looked like one of them ran past her and actually hit her.
Yeah.
And she was and then aimed at someone else.
Yeah. And so, you don't want to put yourself, I'd never want to be in that position ever, but I would think that I would also at least have some sense, even in the, the shock and the heat of the moment, that people are in my home with firearms, that I would, I would take cover maybe, I would shoot at them if they had firearms, but, I wouldn't run at them.
Right, yeah.
Your natural reaction to having that fight or flight response.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. She went full force on them. So I can't talk bad about her. She rushed into
and they were not just with gun, they were bigger than her.
Right, yeah.
They were rushing towards her.
And she must have done something right, because she got one of them.
Yeah.
And hopefully they get the other 2.
So that was an A for effort. On that. I mean, she did what she needed to do. She took care of business. She got him out of the house, which was a main goal.
Right.
Probably she did not get killed, which is goal number 1 actually, probably. But so she got him out of the house. Her technique, though,
needs a little work.
F for execution on it. But
Can you imagine if she would have had an AR-15 with 30 rounds and
just
spraying?
Yeah. So don't if you ever encounter a situation like this, please just don't go running to your front door randomly spraying bullets throughout your neighborhood. That was a bad technique.
But what do you do? A lot of people, who knows how you're going to react in that situation.
Right.
So
I think a lot of it though comes from, she probably is not experienced with that weapon. She doesn't know. She's probably not confident in what she's doing. But that was why when we talked about our concealed carries, what we use for personal defense, I have a red dot. Put the dot on the thing that you don't want to kill you, and so if you're not as comfortable, maybe get a gun that has some sort of feature like that.
And if your house is set up like mine, just wait for him to get into the corridor of death, set off the claymores, and then go back to sleep.
All right, so here let's get in a nice close-up look about this next video. So this one goes quick. It's only about 10 seconds, and this is a guy who posted this video to his own timeline, and here he is with a couple of pistols.
So let me preemptively ask you a question. Does he accidentally shoot himself? Is it gory?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't shoot himself. He doesn't shoot anybody, but he certainly is not expecting. You know, and he kind of has the attitude as if he's an expert at what he's doing. So let's watch this video.
Well, obviously, he's working on his guns in the hotel room or whatever.
Yeah.
Miss Glocker. Gotta play the game like Ray on the key. I had a smile.
Yeah. So, as you may or may not have noticed, he does what we call, he short-stroked it.
Yeah.
So, he drops the magazine, he tries to clear it.
So, it's a Glock, he's doing the takedown. Yeah.
And he short strokes it. So, for those that don't know what a short stroke is, you know, to clear a weapon or to load the weapon, you have to manipulate the slide, pull it back as far as you can, and then release it. Now, if there's a round in the chamber, when you pull that slide back, the round will eject.
Right.
Short stroking it means you don't pull it back all the way. You it's just like halfway.
Yeah, so it might unchamber the round and then rechamber it. Yeah.
Right, and so he had a round in the chamber. He meant to clear it, but he short stroked it, and he thought he cleared it. And sure enough, then he put his finger on the trigger, which is another rule that you break.
Right.
And that he broke, and sure enough, the gun went off. So he's lucky that nobody got shot. So just a word of warning at home, when you're clearing your weapons, do not short stroke them. Make sure you clear them properly. And
visually inspect your chamber, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't take but a second. Open it back, lock the slide back, visually inspect, make sure there's nothing in there, then go about your business. There are a lot of guys out there that accidentally shoot themselves in the foot with an unloaded gun.
Yes,
you know,
it does happen. But let's do a demonstration. I'm confident enough in my skills to do a demonstration.
Is that a 9 mil?
This is a 380.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a 380. So
I was going to say we got a 9 mil dummy round I could give you if you wanted to.
Well, let's go without even a dummy round. But yeah, you drop the magazine to clear the weapon, right? So you drop the magazine, and then you do a full stroke back. Now, if there was a round in the chamber, it would have ejected. But what I do as a habit is I do it a couple times.
Sure.
Yeah. To make sure it's okay. So that guy, he not only didn't do it a couple times, he short stroked it like this and let it go, and there was a round still in there, it didn't eject. So that's how you clear it.
Well, and it happens all too often. And believe me, I got customers all the time that bring me guns to look at, and they're unloaded, and I whip a cartridge out on the desk, you know.
Let's check in with Francesca. Do we have any comments from the Facebook Live viewers on any of the first two stories that we covered there?
Not yet. Everyone's kind of just still checking in, saying hi to each other.
All right. Well, good. Everyone's getting along. We got a party in the Facebook Live.
We do.
All right. With that, let's move on to our next story here, which is... Oh, yeah. So now we're going to get a little bit political. So with that, let's do the slideshow here. So at the top of the show, we talked about the Texas church shooting and how the liberal media has come out with just some ridiculous stories. And the one that caught my attention, the one that you kind of ran with, Scott, was the image that USA Today posted of an AR-15 showing the various attachments that can be put on an AR-15. Now, what caught everybody's attention was that the image they showed was this was the main one. There's another one that we're going to talk about here, but USA Today published this, and it's just ridiculous. Now, technically, can you put these on an AR-15? I guess technically, for example, the grenade launcher. Now, for the general public who's maybe not educated about firearms, they might not know that a citizen you can't get a grenade launcher.
No, you don't get in the military. We have the 40 millimeter grenade launcher, and I never was fortunate enough to actually shoot a live round from one. It would have been cool, but we shot the paint rounds.
Right.
They're neat, whatever.
Same here. I shot the paint rounds.
Yeah, so they're fun, but I think it's a 38 millimeter flare launcher that you can get as a civilian.
I don't know. I didn't even know you could get that.
You can get the flare launcher, but it doesn't fit a grenade.
Now, but let's look at some of the other ones. So, but the wording here is also important.
It is. I was just looking at detachable magazine continual feed. It makes it sound like I'm just holding down the trigger, a continual feed of 5 to 100 rounds.
Right. And then we've got the pistol grip here, which says allows for better control during rapid firing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't just need to hold it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just,
I mean,
it allows me to shoot.
have these people who write these stories and do these diagrams for USA Today, have they ever shot a firearm? A Ruger Mini 14.
They're millennials.
I guess, I don't know. So that's the first image. So I'm going to continue on with this slideshow here, and we'll take a look at what else they came up with. Now, this was the one that had everybody talking, which was the chainsaw attachment, which should be coming up here momentarily. Let's see, how long did I make this video for?
The Chuck Norris attachment. I like that.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
So
You don't even need the gun with the Chuck Norris attachment. You just buy the Chuck Norris.
the meme started after USA Today published another image which showed an AR-15 with a chainsaw attached to it. Now, one of our Facebook viewers, Robert Doss, did point out that yes, you can. There is an attachment of a chainsaw that somebody made somewhere. There was a photo of it on the internet from some gun show. Obviously,
That's mall ninja stuff, man.
yeah,
you
it's,
know?
yeah, it's not a serious attachment that anybody's going to put on their weapon for real. You know what I mean? So, but USA Today published that picture.
Because it's on the internet, so it's real.
Yes,
Right.
but it's so
Everything on the internet's real.
Yes.
it's so ridiculous, and everybody identified that it was so ridiculous that they started coming out with their own memes. Like this one showed a possible modification.
I don't even know why they have a magazine in that one, because with Chuck, if you have a Chuck Norris bayonet, you don't even need rounds.
anything.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And so as we scroll through these photos here, we're going to get to one. So there's the chainsaw bayonet. That's the one we talked about. But Scott, I guess
USA Today symbol
Shark
at
with
the
a
top.
freaking laser scope. Yeah, that's a good one.
Scott, you must have had some free time on your
I
hands.
had some free time, so this is this is the one I came
That
up with. I
one
was
I
bored.
like
I didn't know you were actually going to use this, but
And so here are Scott's personal modifications that he's made to his AR-15. He's got a Harvey Weinstein front sight
Oh,
modification, a
Woody
Woody
Allen,
launcher. Yeah. The Bill Cosby clip. Yeah, that's a good one too.
it's the AR-15 sexual assault rifle.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you the the ridiculousness of some of these stories.
This is far more dangerous, I think, in some cases.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to scroll through a couple of different stories here. This one, it comes out of the great state of Illinois. There's a senator there by the name of Dick Durbin. Now, Dick Durbin was quoted as saying, listen to this ridiculous quote. Now, he's talking about the gun violence. Dick is talking about the gun violence in Chicago.
Okay.
All right? Senator Dick Durbin.
Well, Chicago, one of the most strenuous gun laws in the nation.
Strictest gun laws in the nation.
Yeah.
Highest murder rate. Now, when they asked him about what he thought the possible reasons were for the gun violence in Illinois and Chicago, this is what he said. Quote, "We're next to Indiana, and if you go to a gun show in Indiana, you can purchase a gun without a background check."
That is absolutely not true.
Absolutely not true.
Yeah.
He goes on to say that that the gang members are going to Illinois, filling up the trunks of their cars, and then coming back to Chicago. That is absolutely not true. And this is another example of just blatant lies, like the USA Today BS, which I guess technically wasn't a blatant lie, it was just stupid exaggerations.
dumb, ignorant.
But you can't go to a gun show and buy a gun without a background check.
You can.
Let's hear about that.
So, excuse me. I have to clear my throat for this one, but
Tell me how I can go to a gun show.
if you go to a gun show, you can encounter a lot of guys walking around with their own personal weapons. So yes, under our federal law, you can privately sell a gun as a citizen to another guy or gal, whatever, another citizen. No background check required, person-to-person sale. So if you're walking around a gun show, some guy's carrying his rifle or pistol or whatever, and you go, "Hey, that's nice," and he goes, "You want to buy it?" All you got to do is exchange money. That's it.
So in the state of Washington, I belonged to. There was a group there called the Washington Gun Collectors. They ran a few gun shows every year, and what they did is when you joined their group, the Washington Gun Collectors, they do a background check.
Okay.
When you get a badge, it says you're a member.
Yeah.
You've had a background check. When you go to the gun show, if you have a badge and somebody else has a badge, then you know that you've both had your background check. You can sell that gun no problem at the gun show. That's because you've both had a background check, and I really like that. I like that. Now, if you have a badge and somebody else does not have a badge, I cannot sell you the gun. That's against their rules.
Their rules, yes,
Right.
their rules, not federal regulation
Right.
or anything like that. So in this day and age, even a person-to-person sale, I don't understand why somebody come down to a place like mine. It's $15. Get a background check on the guy you're selling the gun to.
Because it is illegal to to knowingly sell a gun to somebody who can't buy one, a felon.
And if you don't know, I mean...
And who would want to? I wouldn't want to put my gun on arms list and then go to a parking lot somewhere and sell my gun to some guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
what happens when that person it turns out to be crazy and uses that gun? If you don't have any documentation on transferring.
Yeah. For $15, have peace of mind, go get the background check. But that is a law that I would support, is to just go ahead and say, even on a federal level, person-to-person sales require a background check. That's fine.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, why
you know,
not?
and I will probably catch heat for that, being a guy in the in the gun industry, really. But you know, it just makes sense.
It makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Now, here's what doesn't make sense. And you've got groups like Moms Demand Action. You know, all these anti-gun groups, and a lot of celebrities are very much anti-gun. They use their platform as celebrities. A lot of the late-night talk show hosts.
Oh, I haven't seen this. This should change my thinking altogether.
Well,
yeah, I'm already convinced.
Yeah. So this
is that Will Ferrell?
It's Will Ferrell.
Okay.
I'm convinced, whatever.
This was a video I ran across today, actually, and let's see your opinion about it. I'm going to play this video. This is a bunch of celebrities lined up to give a message about that something needs to be done about guns, I guess.
Columbine, Virginia Tech,
Tucson,
Aurora,
Fort Hood, Oak Creek,
Newtown.
Newtown,
Newtown.
Newtown.
How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough. Enough.
Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 That's great, but okay, so nobody even said anything about what their plan would be.
Tucson.
Yeah.
Aurora.
So
yeah, I'm sure they're reading off of a script.
And that's great. Okay, so demand a plan. So what is your plan, though? I mean, what's the plan?
What is the plan?
What is the plan? So I agree with that emphatically. I think that there's enough of this gun violence in the world, you know, in our country, especially these mass shootings, man. This has got to stop. But
we talked about it before the show as we were setting up, you and I, that the problem is not the weapon being used.
It's not a weapon problem. It's a human being problem.
Yeah, and you know, the terms, I put in my notes here, one of the things that really irks me when the media puts out stories, one, everybody knows the use of the term assault weapon. Every weapon used in an assault is an assault weapon.
Yeah, check this out. If I hit you with this is an assault coffee carafe.
That's right.
That's what makes it an assault weapon.
Yeah, the AR-15 is not an assault rifle. There are such things, I guess, as assault rifles, which is a fully automatic rifle, you know, with a high-capacity magazine, fully automatic rifle. The AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle, like any other semi-automatic rifle. It's not any more deadly than any other. There's another story about what makes the AR-15 so deadly. Well, what makes any rifle so deadly is when somebody points it at you and shoots it at you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem with the guns. Gun availability is never going to go away. And even if we did, it's the old argument, man. It's been going on forever. Okay, what happens next? Well, some guy just ran down 6 people in New York with a truck that he rented.
Yeah.
I mean, what? If I hit you with a hammer, it's an assault hammer.
Right.
So
I watched a video, a TED Talk. It was a general or a colonel from the Dutch Army, and the title of the video was Why I Choose the Gun. And I go, oh, cool. Here's a guy from Europe, from the Netherlands, who is a big, you know, a gun supporter, believes in gun rights or whatever, which they don't have the same rights that we do here in the States. But I was with him until he got around to saying that what he supported was only, not civilians having firearms, only governments and militaries having firearms. Now, I don't believe in that. I believe in my individual right to own a firearm, come hell or high water.
Historically, when only the police and government have firearms, it's turned out to be a really, really bad thing.
That's right.
Really bad thing.
Yeah. And
check out the Nazis. That was one of the things. But, the Russians, historically, they, Honduras. Hey, that's a good example. Honduras. I was there for 2 years. You know what's illegal in Honduras?
Firearms.
Private citizens owning firearms. You know where the murder capital of the world is? San Pedro Sula, Honduras.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because, my philosophy is that a firearm as a tool is the only thing that evens the playing field.
Right.
If I'm out walking to my car later this evening, I get jumped by 3 guys with knives or any other weapons, or even without weapons, I get jumped by 3 knives. What do I have to defend myself with? I'm one guy, 48 years old. You know what I mean?
And that's the stance that our viewers are taking. Doss says, how many more before we realize that armed citizens can stop mass shootings themselves by taking responsibility for their own safety?
Right. So let's go back then and address the problem, which we said is, I'm not going to say mental illness, but we said in the beginning when we were setting up, we said it's this sense of entitlement, narcissism.
It's a society, man. There's something going on in society right now. Where I don't know what it is. I don't know where people feel like that this is the only way to get their point across. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think we'll end the discussion with it that we agree that what needs to happen is not an infringement of our rights. That I should lose my rights to bear arms because somebody else did something crazy. We need to address is anger problems, mental health problems, narcissism, the epidemic of narcissism that's going on right now, and find a way. I think it starts with parenting for me. I think it starts with parenting, and if it's a...
Well, and the perception in society has changed so much over the years too, man. If we go back in time, this is not a new thing. The Texas, you remember the guy at UT back in the 60s, man, shooting people from the bell tower.
Right.
Okay. So even back then, this stuff was going on. But you know what they didn't do back then? They didn't blame the guns. They said there's a wacko up in the tower shooting people with a gun.
Yeah. And who took him out? Somebody else with the gun.
Here is my point to the guys out there. If you feel like that's your only course of action, do something else.
Yeah.
There are better ways to get your point across. And if you really feel like you want to kill somebody, how about having a man-to-man conflict? Let's
get in the octagon.
Yeah, get in the freaking octagon.
Yeah.
It's definitely social, cultural, and then also I think it's interesting. Actually, my dad commented. So there's a lot of celebrities in that video talking about how guns, we need change, blah blah blah. And my dad said, how many more movies are these guys going to be in that are glorifying guns?
Yes, all those celebrities in that video we just saw, they've all used
so it's
fire.
Definitely there is kind of a glorification, and it contributes negatively.
Right, even the potato face Amy Schumer, I will say it. You've seen that meme, potato or Amy Schumer?
Yeah,
I'll show it in
She's just I don't care what her political stance is. She's just an awful human.
She's heavily anti-gun.
You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Fine anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, we apologize for the technical difficulties to those of you watching on Facebook Live. We had to switch back to the iPhone Direct, not through the Mevo. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll try to figure it all out. And but we are back on live. So part 2, hello Facebook Live viewers. However, the YouTube viewers will know no difference because it's a fully edited show.
I'm still going to go with we were hacked by the Russians.
I'll go with it as well. Hey, for the last segment of the show tonight, we're talking about the 380 pistols that we went out shooting, and I've got 3 of them here that I'll show you here momentarily. And then Francesca brought one along that we didn't get to shoot. I was really looking forward to it. That is the SIG
P238.
238. A really beautiful. Look at the finish on that slide. Man. How would they do that?
Anodized? I don't know.
That's really cool.
And I mean, it's like on all the little accents and everything. It's really pretty.
That's actually an expensive gun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what, about 900 or 1,000? They're expensive. I don't know how much they are, but I know they're.
I want to say like 900.
Yeah, it's like a pricey little pistol.
Yeah, but of course with SIG, you're paying.
SIG, yeah. And this is the SIG P232, which is kind of the predecessor to that in a way. This is my James Bond gun, I call it. I even got James Bond music to play with it. As you can see, it looks a little bit like a Walther PPK, but it's a little bit more robust. Yeah. Kill that music now. This was kind of everybody's second favorite, but let's play a little bit of the video. We're going to jump around as we always do when we play the video, and we'll give our comments. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Felix, Kristen, and Scott here from StraightShootingShow.com, and we are doing our 380 shootout. We've got Walther PK 380, which is probably my favorite 380 carry firearm. We've got Kristen's Bersa 380, which is Scott's favorite carry firearm. And then we've got two very cool, almost identical 380s. That one that Scott's holding is a Browning BDA 380, and that is a Beretta 84. Both of those are made by Beretta in Italy. They look very similar, just a few differences.
So my pistol, of course, is the Bersa.
So you're gonna go with your pistol first?
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Come on. I like that one, but it's kind of painful.
Nice.
I do like that one.
Did the color of the firearm at all impact your enjoyment of shooting it? Okay. The office manager. Right there's good.
Here?
Yeah, right there. Shooting with her own. Let me get a good shooting stance.
Oh, you're going to do my shooting stance?
All right, here we go. The Cheetah does have more.
Yeah.
Yep. On the count of three, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Mine failed.
It did?
It jammed. Yeah.
So let's talk about what the end results were. Now, myself and Chantel, our favorite of the 380 pistols was the PK 380. However, you and Kristen both like the Bersa 380. Now, how much of that do you think is because that is your pistol and you shoot with it all the time, you've shot with a bunch? The PK 380 is my pistol, and Chantel has her own.
Right.
And we're familiar with it, we like it, maybe familiarity kind of leaned us that way?
Yeah, and it was the best gun that we had out there. So,
I think the PK 380 was the best gun we had out there. But we all unanimously agreed that the Browning BDA 380 and the Beretta 85 were kind of at the bottom of the list due to the heavy recoil.
Yeah, you would think for such a heavy frame gun.
Yeah, it's not a lightweight 380.
No, so carrying that thing around is going to suck because it's heavy, for one. I mean, it weighs like the same amount as a full frame of 1911.
But the recoils, this weekend was the first time I'd ever shot it, and the recoil really surprised me. I mean, it kind of like gets you right in where your thumb.
Right.
What do you call this part of your hand?
Web.
The web of your hand and your thumb.
Yeah.
And so this was on the bottom of the list. But I kind of like the SIG P232 as your second choice.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah. I think it was my second or third. It was okay. I did not like either the Browning or the Beretta though. Not a fan.
Yeah. I love the 380. You got some? You want?
Oh no, I just wanted to see her dress.
Oh, okay. Jasmine is
admiring Kristen's dress.
Yeah. But
look, she's even rubbing her like.
Yeah, it's because it was
that
painful.
One really
that thing hurt
got
me.
you guys.
I mean,
yeah, wow.
I have these big, giant, strong man hands too, and they.
I really like the 380 as a concealed carry caliber. It's a 9mm short is what it is, also known as a 9mm Kurz, and I think it's fantastic concealed carry caliber because you can carry a small firearm, lightweight, easy to handle. Some of them are low recoil. The Versa we like, and the PK 380 we like, low recoil, and it's just a sensible firearm, and it's easy for females to handle as well. A small caliber, 40 or 45 might be too much for female to handle. So, let's do our giveaway.
Oh, the giveaway!
Just posted it.
Who wants a picture? Go.
Yeah. So who wants a picture? Go. And as we're doing that, we're going to talk about what's going to be on the show next week, and that's of course Thanksgiving coming up. It's our the great turkey shoot.
Turkey shootout. We're gonna have so many turkeys. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yes, we're gonna acquire somehow like 20 to 25 turkeys. We're gonna go out with the shotguns and have a blast, unintended, and give myself a little.
We're getting a lot of hashtag don't F with Christian Drake, and they're talking about how many targets she hit. So
let's just go ahead and pick some people. Scott, why don't you hide the pictures?
Yeah, let me see those.
Let Francesca randomly choose one.
Okay. So I did already pick one. I know one. I told you guys when we had cut out. I told you guys I had posted a trivia question.
Yeah.
So Doss gets one for answering the trivia question first.
All right. Doss gets.
Doss gets one.
Doss gets.
What's up, bro?
Don't look.
Ooh, Doss gets a picture of me.
Okay, Doss gets a picture of Francesca, so we'll get that signed.
Yep, and then let's get one to your fiance Josh, but it's going to be a random one.
Okay,
right, random.
So we'll see which one Josh gets.
What does Josh Morris get? Currently serving over.
Oh, picture of Scott. I really like this picture.
Actually,
yeah, this is an awesome picture.
So you got to hang on to that forever.
Yes.
Josh gets a picture of Scott. Do we have anybody else?
No.
And with that, it's time to say goodbye. It's been another great show. We want to thank everybody. Again, Facebook viewers, sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll try to figure it out next week. But either way, it's still a big upgrade.
Right.
Yeah, from just the, in a way, we can compare now. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
Two feeds now. I compare the Levo Live and the iPhone feed, which you're watching right now. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsor, Cerakote Southwest. Thank you, Francesca, for being our spokesman and being here. We'll see you all next week. And we'll say goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.
Check out our radio show.
So when the t-shirt store is ready, the merchandise store is ready tonight, I'm going to just drop it
under advertise
or next to it. And
you're going to drop it in like that?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm just going to call it our store. My store, our store, store. Store. Okay. Merchandise store. Store.
That gets disappointing.
Right.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Straight Shooting when we take another shot.